Welcome everyone, and this time we have the second game between Even Worse Timing and Deja Vu. Even Worse Timing losing the first game, so they're back against the wall. And I love that match because we have like two different strategy at play here. We have Deja Vu that is going for very aggressive bully lane with the Rictor Drongo on one side and the Crux on the off lane, while on the other side of Even Worse Timing we go for a little bit of map presence, team synergy type of composition with the Muriel Murdoch double global ultimate. And talking about that Muriel, it's being driven by Rei, one of the best player in the game, and that's exactly who we're going to follow in that game. We are back for the second game between Even Worse Timing against Deja Vu, and here for this match we're going to focus on the Muriel, so the Muriel being played by Rei, which is the support of Even Worse Timing. And I think that was like the only time a Muriel got picked up during the tournament, so it should be interesting to see, and that's the only moment we get the chance to actually like work with that. And Even Worse Timing is very well known to love to play the Muriel with the camera, and so you should be looking at a lot of import, like diving in with the Reversal of Fortune of Rei on top of it, trying to absolutely obliterate like one pick in the enemy team. The side of the Deja Vu, we still have like that triple front line that they kind of love, with Gucci on the Rictor, Mercy on the Zarus jungle, and BKB on the Crux, while they keep like the Drongo and the Iggy and Scorch to be able to dish out the damage in the backline. Other particularity on the side of Even Worse Timing, like we were saying, is like this double global ultimate. They do have the Murdoch long arm of the low, plus this Reversal of Fortune from the Muriel, which would allow like very quick rotation on the map. And that means that every time these Grux like try to be aggressive, like you have to respect the fact that the Muriel can arrive, that the long arm of the low can arrive. Every single other lane than the dual lane can actually like needs to be very worried that those ultimate can come, and that offer you like a lot of pressure globally, at the cost usually of like the pressure on your lane. To be fair, we have a Rictor Drongo lane, so Rictor Drongo lane can be absolutely monstrous for the Muriel if the hooks connect. If the hook doesn't connect, then they can counter engage, but that can be scary because like Rictor Drongo lane, like one hook and suddenly you can't play as Muriel anymore on the lane. But as you can see, like Gucci seems to not be willing to actually go for the hook, just play passive, and in all honesty, like the Muriel is completely fine with that. And like here they're gonna try like to get like the level 2. Gucci is finally stepping up, still like absolutely like no hook being tried. Once again here, if they were fighting in the wave with the hook and the Drongo behind, like they would have been fine. They got the level 2, so here we use the electrocute. We're gonna try to go for the hook. We do secure the hook onto Pablo, forcing the flash. So very well played. And now we have like the wave that is going to crash on the tower. They do find like the full crash, so that means that the wave is going to reset pretty high on the wave, and so far so good for Jay and Gucci. And like I said, the Rictor Drongo lane is supposed to absolutely like dominate those early levels into the Muriel if the hooks connect, and that's what they'll be doing here. Did Brandon from NSN Magazine play Muriel? I don't think he did, but the thing is, like, as Muriel, to be very strong as Muriel in laning phase, you need to be able to hit all your auto attack. And Muriel is actually like very hard to land the auto attack. I think it's like even harder than on carries by far. And when you're on ping, like if you don't hit your auto attack as Muriel, you never win a single trade. So here we got like an early gank by Mercy, actually like finding Pablo. They knew that Pablo didn't have any flash, so they just like punished that very hard. And that's very well played by the side of Deja Vu. Here we can see Rei was trying like to maybe crash the wave, so Pablo doesn't lose like too much farm, but unfortunately he didn't successfully do so. And so here he's trying like to apply a lot of damage, trying to force like Jay to go back to base, because that's like a pretty big wave that is going to crash on the tower. And so if Jay go back right now, he's gonna lose like a full big wave, and Jay is going back. So yeah, that's gonna be like 4 minions completely denied. Here Jade made a mistake. Jay should never back. I know it's risky, but you can't afford yourself to back in that situation. Import was coming around to see if maybe they can go for the dive. But at the same time, that means that now it's like gonna be like a pretty big wave lost, as we can see like the Rictor. I missed. We see like the big wave here, and it's going to like start to slow push on the other direction. Plus we have cannon wave, like Jay here miss 6 minions. He missed an entire wave of experience and gold. And that early in the game, it's very harsh. And that all come down from like the pressure that Rei was applying, trying to scare Jay away. I don't think there was any kill potential. It was just like trying to pressure Jay so he go back to base. And actually like Jay felt pressure and gone back to base. And so like Jay was super ahead of Pablo before that back. But because like Rei played very well, you can see now 24 CS to 25. In terms of experience on the side of Pablo, we're half the level. In terms of experience on Jay, we're half the level. And so this simple play from Rei, forcing Jay back on the timing the wave was going to crash, actually like put back his carry completely into the game. And that's the thing that, in my opinion here, Rei played that very well, but Jay should never have gone back to base. He should have just like take the minion that was crashing on the tower once the wave was crashing and then go back to base. So we are back fighting. Jay is slightly ahead in terms of like the gold spend. As we can see, he got the Honest Chris, while Pablo only have 2 short swords, which like kind of limit the opportunity for them to be actually like very aggressive. And that's interesting. We can see like that Rei is going actually for the Serenity level 2. Like a lot of people prefer to go for the consecrated ground level 4. And now we got like a nice hook into the gag grenade. We got like the consecrated ground and Rei almost dying. And you can see like the strengths of like this Rictor Drongo combo. As soon as you get hooked, like you're out of the lane. You can never like stay anymore. And so here Rei is forced to just like reset, going back to base. Also Rei going for the Consort Crest, making like the lane even harder to play because you don't get like the regen from the Guardian Crest. But that gives you access to Tranquility later on. That is like an insane crest on Muriel, to be honest. And so like we were talking about like the fact that we're maxing Q a little bit, like there is like some Muriel that loves to go for like a little bit of like Q early on because that helps you like Brandon is actually noting in chat. I with the wave clear and also with the poke, but that kind of delay your ability to have like very strong shield in the mid game. So it's kind of like a trade-off that you have to accept and choose. And that's something that I find like is very, very interesting with Muriel because you have so many ways of actually like playing Muriel that is always like trade-off of the early aggression, your mid-game power spike, all those situations, your late-game efficiency, despite of like what you are building, what you're actually like maxing in ability. And I feel like Muriel being a very, very interesting pick on support that is actually very hard to always know what you should be doing in which situation. So here we can see like we have like the wave priority, so we're just like zoning a little bit. Here I guess they're trying to just crash the wave. That's why like we see Rei going for the Q spell onto the wave, trying to kill the minion as fast as they can so they can crash the wave and then go for the gold buff. But they do have to respect, as we can see, like Mercy is rotating, they have the information. We still probably doesn't have flash on the side of the Murloc. We do use the flash aggressively, but Import was here for the counter engage, and this time we do have the level 6 on Import while Mercy is not level 6, and so we do find the counter pick. And Deja Vu going a little bit aggressive, knowing the flash is down, trying to go on Pablo, but not taking into account that Import can be there to counter this aggression and end up like getting punished for it. So we're going like for the reset here. Everyone is resetting at the same timing. Wave is pretty far advanced. There is not much to be done. Little trick by Rei, as you can see here. He used the Alacrity, which is the RMB, to throw his orb out of the base. And that way, that means that after you take like the jump pad, you actually get the orb, and so you get the move speed that helps you like going faster to the lane. But also at the same time, you're not spending mana because you're still inside the fountain, so you kind of regen your mana anyway. And so here you can see that is Rei. So here, a little bit interesting, you see Rei using like the consecrated ground into the floor without touching the minion, because his ID here, like Rei here, what he's doing is like freezing the wave. And so the ID is like, you can see here, there is still like 4 range minion. And that means this whole wave is gonna get killed by this minion. And also Rei then like step up to try to deny the back of Jay, which means that no, it's like a full wave plus a cannon being completely denied from the enemy carry. And so that's like the little thing you should be doing as a support, trying to minimize the farm of the enemy carry. And here you had a perfect example of Rei doing it. And since he didn't want to damage the wave too much, because if the wave is too damaged, then suddenly like the freeze can't be kept. That's why he used the consecrated ground outside, so he still benefit from the shield, but is actually like not getting damage on the minion. And here they try to collapse onto Rei. Rei forced to flash a whale, but a very nice hook by Gucci after the flash. We get the Coliseum, we get like the call, and so that's gonna be a trade. We try to use the skewer, and now we got the rotation from the mid laner Simba and Shin, both being there, but they have to be careful because the Tesla Dome is still up. Pablo is still pretty healthy. They don't have anything though to guarantee like the Tesla Dome damage, so I would assume it's simply gonna be like a disengage. But actually we go for the flash in with the Reversal of Fortune, and that's one of like another benefit that you can have with like the Muriel is like true. They do pick the Muriel out, but Muriel, as soon as she's back up, if she got the level 6, and I guess she got the level 6 before dying, right before dying, she can come back to the fight immediately with the Reversal of Fortune. And now, thanks to that Muriel and play, true, they don't pick anyone, but now you can go for the Sanctus. And another thing that is interesting to note with Muriel is like her passive Sentinel allowed her to do like more magical damage per auto attack, but every time she uses a shield on a colleague, this colleague is gonna get the benefit from the Sentinel, which means that Muriel is absolutely insane at taking early objective because she shield everyone so they don't take damage, but on top of that she offers like additional DPS to everyone by actually like offering the Sentinel passive to everyone. Well, so we have import saying like Gadget is underrated pick. To be honest, everyone thinks it's Siege for some reason. I have to admit, I don't really know why. I think Gadget is pretty strong, but I think like Gadget requires a little bit of like team synergy. And I feel like very few team actually like, even a top team for now, like I see so few moments that the Tesla Dome is actually so value. And I guess it's like, when I see people have trouble to just like chain a boulder throw into like a replash, like I can't even imagine team actually like chaining like a cage into a Tesla Dome. But I think people prefer against Scorch because it's self-sufficient. But I think Gadget can do like crazy stuff, but we need a little bit of team synergy and playing together on the very good things. True. So back to the Muriel. We do have here Muriel being level 6, but the Reversal of Fortune is on cooldown. We have the Marshal being finished, so Red decided to opt for the Marshal. Here we do have a Chimera and a Murdoch that benefits from it like very strongly. We got like a nice hook here into the skewer. Should be like a kill on Pablo. Like with the Muriel, like you can't save anyone at that moment in the game against like this combo of Richter Drongo, but here we just get like the turnaround and suddenly import being there, getting the double kill in return. So yeah, Pablo dies, but we get double kill in return. Richter Drongo lane is such a strong kill lane that if you get hooked, you're dead.
Allied tower under attack.
So here we're gonna finish the Crest. Crest finished at 12:30, so that's very early for the Crest. That's as early as it can get, and we can see we now have the Tranquility. And so now maybe with the Reversal of Fortune plus the Tranquility, we maybe have some shot at actually like saving Pablo if he gets hooked. We can see that we put like 3 points into the Serenity, and then we start maxing the Consecrated Ground. So the idea was like to have for a little bit more aggressivity in lane, be able to maybe like get some kills, fast kills. Yeah, that's gonna be moment that I think Wusi doesn't have yet. As you can see, he only has Dynamo. He doesn't have finish his Crest, so that's a timing that Pablo and Rei can be strong. But at the same time, like they're not really looking for the 2v2 because Richter Drongo is an absolute monster of a kill lane, while Muriel Murdoch can be interesting, but it's like really all about like just offering like this global presence on the map. And as you can see, like Import is going for the invade. They're trying to apply a little bit pressure on the right side of the map. They still have both like long arm of the law. As you can see, like Pablo was looking on the other side, and that's a kill on the opposite side of the map. Not sure the long arm of the law was completely needed. We can't know. But that means like this dual lane, just by playing kind of passive in that situation, they kind of stop this kill lane from being like able to execute their game plan, while this dual lane still like help the rest of the map. And that's one of the big strengths of the Muriel Murdoch combo lane. And here we get like a little bit like of trading. To be fair, if the hook is done at any point, if the Victor hook is done, they can just like advance and space perfectly the skewer and they have like free auto attack. That's why like the hook is so detrimental here in that lane, because double like damage like from like the Murdoch plus the Muriel when they step forward, like the Drongo can't compete with that. But if the hook connects, suddenly you're dead. So it's really like a hook centric lane, like many times with the Victor. And here we advancing towards a dive-in res. Probably like looking for maybe getting the Wellspring. Little thing that is kind of important to note is that the Muriel is a pick that was that got nerfed quite a lot, and not by nerfing the character itself, but by nerfing like the item that Muriel like loves to build. Like we got like the Wellspring got nerfed quite a lot. Reduced from 8% like the heal to 5%. Of course we get like a better healing now if we keep auto attacking, but to be honest it's not like that simple to realize in the team fight and such as the Muriel. And also like we lose 2% of heal and shield power on the Tranquility crest, and so that means that actually like there is a lot of stat that has been removed. Here we're looking for the counter engage. As you can see, like Rei is playing like very far back. Be ready to engage with the Reversal of Fortune. We got a nice Tesla Dome onto 3 people that absolutely obliterate the whole enemy team. We tried to go in now finally with the Reversal of Fortune, but we got a nice Inferno that just punched back import, which completely stopped the idea of the combo. Pablo going in aggressively, get the auto attack, finally killing Simba, was Rei is actually like pressuring people on the other side of the map. And here, the gadgets simply win the team fight by itself. And it was like just one Tesla Dome and they win the team fight. And then they can just immediately go for the Fangtus. It's pretty simple for them because once again, with the Muriel plus the Chimera, Fangtus dies pretty fast. On top of that, you have the Marshall. And Marshall also like is an absolute objective killer in the early stage of the game, because the attack speed on everyone plus the bonus magical attack damage on every single auto attack of your teammate makes you an absolute like monster when it comes to killing objective. So I guess we're just like keeping the goal to buy the scepter. That's why like we didn't buy anything on the side of Rei. So here it's the moment that the Reversal of Fortune is down, so you can't just stay to your side. The Fangtus has been taken. You see the enemy team is going for the mini prime, so Rei is rotating around, letting Pablo getting like some free experience. The enemy team decided to rotate as 5 people towards like the mini prime, and so you can see it's very interesting. Like most team would try like to contest, and here they're kind of like, okay, we're fine, we're not gonna contest that. And so they just like decided to accept that they're not gonna contest the mini prime because they don't have 5 people, but they still got the TL buff and his wave. We got like all the wave in mid, and then we also get like the wave into the dual lane and also like get the tower. So overall, like yeah, we don't get the mini prime, but in terms of farm getting taken out of the map, we're actually like doing very, very well. And at the same time, then we see a little rotation trying to catch maybe people that were trying to be aggressive onto Pablo. And you can see like here, Rei basically being a human ward, seeing if any rotation is coming to be certain that Pablo is safe, and then gonna see if they can keep applying the pressure. And why we keep applying the pressure, like here, so many teams will just disengage. So many teams will just disengage because they will say, oh, we're super far ahead on the map. And so that's super scary to do. But why do we don't disengage on the side of even worse timing? Because actually we're applying pressure. Like first they have the vision on everyone on the minimap. So they know it's a 2-1-1. So here it's a 2v2, in the mid lane it's a 1v1, and on the right side it's a 1v1. I'm not sure where is import. Well, actually it's a 2v1 on the right side. And so like here, it's also like, if you don't pressure here on the dual lane, that means that you lose the pressure on the other side, because suddenly like if everyone pressure together, Deja Vu need to answer. But if you don't pressure all together, that means that if Pablo and Rei were disengaging here because like, oh, we're in enemy territory is risky, that means that Goosey and Jay are now free to rotate and then they can match the pressure on the other lane. While here, like the idea is you pressure all 3 lanes, that means that you're a man up overall on the map and you're pressuring all towers. You're probably not getting all the towers, but you're definitely gonna get some. And so here we apply a little bit of pressure. We do have to be careful about the hook. That's why like Rei is being like a little bit of nuisance every time the reactor step up a little bit like of poke. We see that people are arriving, and so now we're waiting. We're waiting to see if the where the Iggy and Scorch is going to go, because if the Iggy and Scorch is coming like to the dual lane, suddenly it's making like display complicated. We see that the Iggy is in mid lane, so Rei is like just hovering around. Offering like here, like you see, the idea is we keep the pressure up, so now the steel can actually like apply pressure on the tower. And if this pressure wasn't kept up, like this steel would have never done any damage to that tower. And so here we're just gonna also like steal the 5 camp, since we don't want to go fully for the thing. We steal like a few minions on the 5 camp, and now we just like go back to base. And we got the Wellspring finish on the side of Rei. And so we get the second attempt power spike for the support. Very strong to actually keeping his teammate alive. The 20% like heal and shield power. Only thing is like you're kind of not super nuts when it comes to ability ace, because you only have the 15 from the Marshal. But it's still like pretty good. So you have to be mindful on how you use your shield, which is something that is not always easy to do on the Muriel. Like it's with this type of build, like you need to be very like aware of when you use your E to maximize the utility. And here we can see once again we go for the Reversal of Fortune on top of the camera, like it's an even worse timing special. They try like to survive as long as they can. The Tranquility being used, then we got like also like the Skewer, and now we're just like staying like a step behind to just like be able to auto attack, but offer like additional like the Q spell, the shield, and suddenly that's already a kill. And then the Muriel like going for a little bit of a split push while the rest of the team is keep chasing that. We see that Simba is kind of low. It's a 2v2. The Muriel is rotating to create like a little bit of positioning here. In the meantime, BKB securing like a solo kill. We have Rei coming from behind, and that should be a kill. But of course, the drone decided to jump away because the action was the person getting killed, but the drone said like it's too harsh for your eyes, poor viewer, so I'm not gonna offer it to you. So here you have to be careful. As you can see, Rei using immediately the Alacrity to his feet to get like the little bonus of move speed, allowing him to get like away from the range of the Whiplash. And just gonna reset here, getting a little bit back his mana. And also like because there is nothing really to be contested on the map right now, he's gonna spend a little bit of gold. We get an Essence Streak to get a little bit with the mana regen, so we can spam a little bit more and we don't need to go back to base as often. And here we're gonna probably like try to look for a fight around like the Fangtus. And here, wow, double Soulstone 1 on the same spot. That's interesting. And here you can see like the Muriel, you should never be in a position that the enemy team can engage on you. Like your job as a Muriel is to stay in the backline, out of like sight of the enemy team, or you can be inside, but never in a position that the enemy team can engage you. And you can see here like the team is like actually getting a little bit of poke, but Rei is not pressing the trigger on the E. Like I said, when you don't have that much ability ace, you have to be very, very careful on how you actually like use your E, because otherwise you don't have it when it really matters. So we're gonna take also a look. As you can see here, we get like actually 4 points in both abilities. So we actually like kind of have like maxing different abilities here. We don't fully go for the E, we go for Q and E. While we started with 3 points into the Q, and then we like shift. And so here we're like, you see how like they're playing like very, very slow. Problem is like the steel is actually like going very deep. We kind of force the Tesla Dome. Now we do get like the gadget that is a little bit hard. Finally we get engaged on by BKB. BKB using the Phoenix, but Phoenix doesn't die, so he go for the trap and finally he's gonna die. He has to be careful though on the side of Rei. I'm not so sure like why BKB was like getting stuck. Maybe there was another like static trap that we actually like missed. And here we're just playing slow. We trade like, we get 2 people and now we can go back into the Fenctus. And that's what kind of like what they do. They kind of play like kind of slow, use the shield, kind of extend the fight with the Muriel pick. While the enemy team kind of have like very strong like combo with the Coliseum, with the Crocs. They kind of try to delete people very fast. While on the side of the other team, you have a camera and a Muriel. So what you want is you want to extend the team fight as long as you can. So you can benefit from those shields, you can benefit from this health regen. And that's exactly what they played. And in the end, they just get 2 kills, but that was enough to secure the 3rd Fenctus of the game. And that's a triple Fenctus secured on the side of Even Worse Timing. And so let's see what Even Worse Timing are going to do with it now. But with double global ultimate, I think it's pretty easy for them to actually like play the map very well. So, here we do have Pablo that is back to base. We're probably gonna try to get like a little bit of control around the O prime. The Demolisher is finished. Let's see if Pablo decides to go for like towards like the O prime or decide to go for the split push direction. And it seems that Pablo is going for the left side because they see that Jay is on the left side. And so here, like most team will try to force the O prime, while Even Worse Timing usually have a tendency to just like try to play the lanes, get like some priority on the lanes first, and then like they take a decision. Do we commit for O prime or do we have like an opportunity to play the map and get some towers before O prime? And that way of playing like actually like pressuring wave, not letting me like actually like split push or this thing, that means that they play always under their tempo and they don't let the enemy team actually like dictate their direction. And here we can see that Rei is going back to base, and that was like maybe like a weird back for many people, but it was mainly that he placed all his ward around the O prime and then he reset it to have like all his ward back because the soul stone refresh on base. And the idea was like that then suddenly he can get like a better vision control. And here you can see Pablo winning the 1v1 into J, so we forced like the rotation. Rei is around to be able to guarantee that position on the map, and that's a free tier 2 tower. And as soon as you see like there was like 2 people on the left side, suddenly like now we have 3 people on the right side, which means that now we have like a little bit of the number advantage. But as soon as they see that the Iggy and Scorch was stepping up, immediately Even Worse Timing like go for the rotation to try to catch that Iggy and Scorch. And so they just like understanding that they can play, and suddenly since like everyone has gone away on the dual lane, then we say okay, we're still fine to get like another wave and we pressure a little bit more. And so when you play against Even Worse Timing, like you are always under this constant pressure, and it's kind of like this chess game of going back and forward, which is a little bit like a war game, which is what I love about MOBAs. And so here we kind of see that we do have Jay on the left side, and here you can see like even while taking like a full back on everyone in the team on the side of Even Worse Timing, like that's actually like very nice to see. You see that the line of minions is like even past the half on every single lane, despite that everyone on the side of Even Worse Timing has gone back to base. And they already have people ready to catch the wave again. Hello, Medkit. And so we place ward again on the side of Rei. And here they're just like going to go back to base again. We're just gonna refresh the ward. We finish the crystal tier. And so now we get the crystal tier. Crystal tier pretty strong on steel, pretty strong onto the gadget. Like this 40 magical power is very nice. It's also like super strong on the Muriel itself, because that offer the item by itself offer the Muriel like 30 ability haste if she's with like other ally, which is absolutely bonkers. The item like offers so much stat, like 70 magical power, like a lot of like mana regeneration, heal and shield power. It's very strong, and if your teammate can benefit from it, it's even better. And so here, once again, Pablo and Rei trying like to force pressure on tier 2 towers. Jay's getting like poked quite a lot. we have Snoo split pushing on the left side, forcing BKB around. And here, like, the idea is, like, we're in a 1-1-2 with import, like, floating around. And if we keep, like, that kind of even, that means that at some point, Pablo and Rei will be able to actually, like, get that tower. But they do play carefully. As you can see, like, they don't want to fully commit. They just, like, get, like, a few auto from here and there. And they do secure the tier 2 tower just like that. And that's, like, additional gold. That means additional, like, pressure to be able to push the wave further in. And that means, like, even more control on the alt prime. And that's something that I feel like Even Worse Timing is doing very, very well, is like being able to take tier 2 tower without relying on the alt prime. Because actually, if you take tier 2 tower first, then that means the alt prime is easier to take. And many teams kind of need the alt prime to be able to push tier 2 tower. And I feel like that's something that teams should be like looking to try to do, is maybe could be like actually like a training they can do in their scrims in the future, is like, let's try to get tier 2 tower without relying on alt prime. And see how good we fare. So here we have the Primal Fang 2 that is up. We're looking like maybe for an aggression somewhere. Rei always like following, but never being on the front line. Of course, he's a Muriel, but he want to always like be ready to, if import was jumping in, to be able to follow with the Q spell. In the meantime, like here we try to find like an absolute like dive onto like BKB, and here immediately like Deja Vu going for the alt prime, accepting the trade of like the primal for the alt prime if they want to. And it seems that Even Worse Timing is going to take it, because once again, Even Worse Timing doesn't rely that much on the alt prime to actually like secure objective, and so they're kind of happy with that trade. The Primal Fang 2 is only like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, while the alt prime, when you don't have any Fang 2, is only 3 minutes. So alt prime is slightly longer, but they have time to play until like the 32 minutes, and the Primal Fang 2 is actually like superior when it comes to actually like fighting. The only problem is like it makes it hard to siege because you don't have like those increased like minion buff. But at the same time, if you can just like suddenly like delete people with the steel shield slam or the call from like the camera, if nobody is alive on the enemy team, like having primal buff or not doesn't really matter. Like having prime buff or not doesn't really matter for your minions, because the enemy minions are gonna die. So here we're pressuring like the wave. Once again, Even Worse Timing, always like the same thing. They're actually like pressuring all the wave. They don't want to get like any bad situation. And here you can see it's all prime against Primal Fang 2, but who is getting the structures is the side of Even Worse Timing. And here we're gonna like try to poke with this Primal Fang 2 from like the range from like the gadget. We're gonna try to get like double wave that are actually pressured, and they're gonna try to look for like maybe an opportunity to actually like deal some damage and find a pick at any points. So here we have a little moment. We use that to poke. You can see like Mercy's taking a lot of damage, Pablo dodging the hook. That could have been direct. Dude, that could have been scary, but in the end it doesn't connect. And so now we have BKB like defending on the left side. They decided to group up as 5 in the mid lane. They maybe like gonna try to press like the trigger in the next team fight or in the next wave. And here we like try to zone. We use the shield to defend the minions as much as we can. And you can see you don't need a all prime to actually secure inhibitors. So now we got like an inhibitor from that Primal Fang 2. We're gonna go back and get like all the enemy jungle to keep like our lead up in terms of actual like experience and gold. And this Primal is gonna disappear like very soon, like in the next like 10 seconds or so. It disappeared right now. And so now we just like can't shield because the enemy team has all prime for 30 more seconds. So we keep like the wave push. We're gonna go for like a simple reset after we take all the wave, all the map farm. And then we're just gonna wait for like probably like the next objective and use them to win the game. So we do get the spell breaker, which means that now we do have the bubble, and that protects you like from getting hooked by the Rictor, which could be like the demise of like any Muriel. And so here like we're actually like very strong as the Muriel. We have a lot of abilities like the 15 plus the 30 plus the 10. So we have like 25, 55 ability ace, which means that you can actually spam quite a lot. You have a lot of mana regeneration to not never have any issue with that. And yeah. Well, this Spellbreaker bubble actually like makes it very, very hard for people to actually like find any entry onto the Rei. He does have to be careful though here because like he's trying to bait a little bit. We got the call, trying to find like the kill onto BKB with the Snoop going from behind, and that should be like a free kill here. We're gonna get the Phoenix, but we're gonna get the respawn from BKB behind, and we decided to ignore fully like BKB for a while because like the Snoop was going like very, very deep, and now we do secure the kill. And that's 2 pick being fine because they do find a very nice entry pick into the jungle. We try to go in. Pablo's going in. We just like use the Reversal of Fortune to keep him healthy. We're not gonna get like the shield and stuff to try to keep Pablo alive, but it's not enough, unfortunately. But that means that we can still like find a kill. We do lose 2 people. I don't know what is happening because the drone keeps jumping between people that I don't want. I wish this drone was fixed at some point because I just want to watch the action, not having the drone jumping into character that you can't see anything. Like, I don't press any button, and that's 4 times in a row in less than a minute that the drone jump on other character. It's so painful, but very good team fight on the side of Even Worse Timing. Finding the engage, Rei baiting slightly, perfectly on the limit, and then they do find the pick onto BKB. And I love also how they ignore the Phoenix for a little moment to actually get to the backline and actually securing the kill onto Jay. Then Pablo going like very, very deep, almost surviving, but not fully surviving. But in the end, the cleanup crew was there, the Muriel was still up, and then there is too much sustain, and Even Worse Timing ended up securing the game. And as we have seen from Rei, very, very nice game, 1-1-11, offering like a lot of utility for the team, but nothing too crazy either. You just position yourself well, you try to never be in range to be actually like damaged, and you just like offer like the shield at the right moment. You press the ability of like the Q spell and such, and then some good Reversal of Fortune in team fight to be able to follow up the engage. And that's the recipe of a great Muriel game.